Emotional triggers don't feel particularly pleasant. I mean, they are our nervous system's way of alerting us to potential pain and potential danger, and consequently, we have a tendency to want to avoid them. And yet, our emotional triggers can be our greatest cues to learning, to change, to growth, and to healing. We have a tendency to be quite selective about life. We want things to be easy, we want things to be relatively pain-free, and we want to feel happy all the time. Unfortunately, this just isn't realistic, and the more we can say yes to whatever circumstance we are in at any given moment, the more likely we are to be able to find peace within ourselves and peace in our surroundings. The expectations that we have for our life and for other people, for our relationships and for ourselves can often be our greatest source of disappointment. I mean, we have a tendency to continuously talk about shoulds. I should be this, they should be that, life should be X, Y, or Z. And unfortunately, life just isn't like that. I mean, the more you can switch the word should to could, the more likely you are to live in a space of possibility and growth as opposed to rigidity. This makes adversity and challenges so much easier to navigate because you can flow with whatever it is that's going on with your life as opposed to resisting it. You can meet your struggle with compassion and mindfulness as opposed to judgment and feeling a sense of woe, feeling a sense of unfairness. And the more we do that, the more we have a compassionate mindset towards ourselves, the more likely we are to find solutions, the more likely we are to focus on remaining connected to ourselves and other people as opposed to creating resentments and creating disconnects. This compassionate mindset is essential when it comes to exploring our emotional triggers, when it comes to trying to discern what it is that we are being called to do, whether we need to go inside and do some healing work, whether we need to adjust our mindset, whether we need to adjust some of our beliefs, or whether we need to learn something new, whether we need to grow in some way. And again, there's sometimes a delicate balance. It's not always black and white. The more we can see the middle ground in every aspect of life, the more likely we are to have psychological flexibility. And this is so important in our relationships. I mean, we do have a tendency to see people as either all good or all bad, as opposed to being able to integrate them as being a little bit of both, you know. And again, it's about keeping your expectations in check, looking at your emotional triggers rather than reacting to them, and being very compassionate with yourself, but also being very compassionate with other people. And again, it's just about using the wisdom that your triggers provide you with as opposed to spending a life running from them. If you would like to find out more about how you can work with your emotional content and triggers, then get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie.